shit again.
What it do, what it do, what it do. This is the Talk My Shit Again podcast. I'm your humble, hostile host, Cassius Cliff. It's game day. We got Seattle in Seattle, Monday night, and this is going to be a big one. Don't be mistaken. Do not get it confused. Just because Dallas folded yesterday and got bent over doesn't mean anything. Because yes, we're in control of our destiny just the way I would like it, just the way it should be. We absolutely cannot drop this game. We have a lot of things happening. We got things changed mid-season that people would not expect. And really, we got an injury report that does not look great. But before we get into any of that, I definitely got to take some time out to thank y'all for commenting, subscribing, liking, sharing. It's going a long way. I definitely appreciate all that love. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That being said, though, let's get into this content. First and foremost, we had some things change. We had some changes going on, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Defensive coordinator, to be specific. Sean Desai has been pushed out of the defensive room and pushed into the press box. It's going to be ran by Matt Patricia. And if you ask me, I don't know how I feel about that just yet. Obviously, this game will tell how I feel about it ultimately. But you're talking about a coach in Matt Patricia who was, as a defensive coordinator, his defenses were top 10, which is dope, which was great. But as a head coach, a defensive head of mind coach, talking about bottom tier defenses. So will he fall somewhere in the middle? Time will tell. I don't know. I just know given where this defense has been, this past defense has been, that shit cannot get any worse. You're talking about bottom of the league. In the red zone, third down, yards per game, it don't matter. We could be had in the air. That's been apparent all season. So given that we've changed things in terms of the play calling and the defensive coordinator who's running the show, hey, hopefully that pays dividends. Obviously, time will tell. That being said, though, we do have an injury report, and it's looking a little shaky because I just mentioned we got the worst pass defense in the league, and we're going to be without Big Play Slay. That could get spooky. We're talking about DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. We're not sure if Geno's going to be out there, but those three guys are enough. They're clearly enough to at least get 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns. We've seen that all season. So given that that's the case, that could be a problem for us. Obviously, we'll see soon enough. Aside from him, Zach Cunningham, who I believe has been decent, if not, viable in the pass defense in terms of linebackers, he also will not be out there. So, hey, Shaq Leonard, I hope you're ready because you're definitely going to be out there. Most definitely. Aside from those two guys, Cam Jurgens, if you know how I feel about Cam Jurgens, that one hurts because we already don't like running the ball. For whatever reason, we don't like it. And not having one of your better run blockers, that could be a problem. That could absolutely be a problem because who's not on the injury report? QB1 Jalen Hurts. I don't know what's going around in the league or even in life general. And I know a lot of people will call Dallas Cowboys fans dirty, given how they play sometimes. But if you ask me the way they're dirty, maybe not by washing their hands. Because we got several Dallas Cowboys fans sick, and our QB is sick, and we just played each other. So you do the math. I don't know what's going on, but that's what's happening. He's in question right now. It's hard to tell if he's going to play, even though they're saying it's likely. We just don't know for sure. And given that we don't know if he's going to even be out there, all the more reason to run the ball with DeAndre Swift, who I feel is one of the best running backs in the conference, definitely in the division, and possibly in the league. I feel like with given the enough opportunities and really the attempts, this man will show out and prove that he's one of the best. He's shown in the first couple weeks of the league. We're talking about a guy who was top 5, if not still top 5 in rushing. You don't get top 5 rushing by accident, especially with a team that does not like to run the ball like Philadelphia. That is definitely because of the talent and the ability. So given the opportunities and the enough attempts, this man could do that on a weekly basis. He just needs the chances. He just needs the attempts. He needs to get in rhythm in order for him to have his big games and really just for him to be effective. We've seen that on numerous occasions, and we just need to see it a lot more purely because this offense is not balanced in the slightest. We're pass happy. We abandoned the run way too early. And if you ask me, with the coaching changes, if we have another showing like we did last week or the last couple weeks in terms of the running game, hey, Brian Johnson, you might have to go into press box as well. You might have to do a switch up as well because it's definitely not, it's unacceptable given how well we've been running up until this point since last year, really in the beginning of this season to where it is now. It's damn near night and day. And we just can't have that because if you know anything about December playoff football, you got to be able to run the ball. There's just no question. There's no questioning it. There's no way around it. You got to run the ball. And given that I have full belief and full confidence in our receiving core, especially given that they had huge turnovers, I don't even need to touch on those guys. Those guys are going to show up. I'm not worried about them. It's the running game and really being creative in the running game that will allow us to be as effective as we want to be in terms of our offense in general and in its entirety. We need to be balanced, and running the ball will allow us to be balanced. Really simple math. That being said, though, we're going to have a lot of rookies step up on defense, and it's going to be a tall order. It's going to be a tough one for them because I already mentioned the receivers they're going against, and the only guy that I have full confidence in when it comes to the rookies on the back end is Sidney Brown. Sidney Brown has been showing that he is ready and able to step up when called upon. I mean, here's a great tackle on CMC, attacking the ball, unlike a lot of these guys on the back end. And I just want to see him out there to continue to show that he's ready and making plays as he's been throughout the season. Yes, he was banged up a little bit, but the guy's been making plays virtually when he was given the opportunity from the get-go. Here's another big play by him against CD after blown coverage by James Bradbury. I mean, you got to have these plays when they present themselves. Because without that, we're talking about crib talk, a touchdown by CD Lamb. And you could blame James Bradbury, but clearly, CD Brown's supposed to be able to help over the top. So if that's what you're supposed to be over there to do, my dude, you got to do it. Got to do it. Now, two guys who may be required to play a healthy amount of snaps, who've been shaky at points. First and foremost, Eli Ricks. Here we have a great play by him, but that's easily his best play throughout the season, and he's had a tough go at it. So given that he's going to probably have more than enough opportunities to play this Monday night, we just need him to step up. We need him to be confident. We need him to have these kind of plays in order to continue to build on the success that he's had. Though it may not have been a lot, he's had some good moments. But who really needs to step up and who has very little experience at this point, I can't even pull a clip from a game this year. Kelee Ringo. Kelee Ringo clearly has the athleticism to me, and really what it looks like to be his technique is just not there yet. So has he been coached up to this point for him to be out there and be starting? That remains to be seen. We'll see soon enough. But he clearly has athleticism. He just needs to be in position. And that's what it comes down to. And this game is going to come down to literally who hates losing more. Because both teams are on losing streaks. I'm talking about one team on a 4-game losing streak, the other on a 2-game. Both teams look to be desperate. You got one that already clinched the playoffs. One is trying to get into the playoffs. Both teams are going to be hungry. We're trying to get back on track just like they are. But do we care and do we hate losing more than they do? Do you have more pride than they do? It's going to be a battle of wills. And do I have confidence in my team? Absolutely. Wholeheartedly. Especially if they don't have Geno out there and Jalen's going to be out there. I expect to smoke these boys. If that's what it's going to be, Drew Lock versus Jalen Hurts, I'm fully anticipating 31-14. But if it's Jalen versus Geno, it might be a little closer. We're talking about maybe 27-20, and we're talking about a battle of the backups. Absolutely the worst case scenario, Marcus Mariota versus Drew Lock. Boy, I don't even want to think about that. We're probably talking about an L 14-10. That's not what I want to see. Obviously, we'll see soon enough. But all in all, in the end, we got to show up. We just got to win. Even if Marcus Mariota is out there, we just have to win. Do I have belief in Marcus Mariota? Absolutely not. But I don't have to suit up. I don't have to listen to him in the huddle. That's the players' responsibility. They got to show up, whether or not I believe they can pull it off with him leading the team. And that's what it's come down to. Because this is the NFL. This is December. Everybody's banged up. Everybody's having to figure out how they won these last couple games to solidify their playoff seeding and really get in and punch their ticket. You can't make any excuses. It is what it is. That being said, again, I appreciate y'all. Continue to like, share, subscribe, comment. It goes a long way. This is the Talk My Shit Again podcast. I'm your humble, hostile host, Cassius Cliff. To the next one.